Hi, welcome to the Island Podcast with your host, Matthew Sclosi. For today's episode, we have part two of the Zoom episode that I did with Andrew Stewart. We had just went on for about 4 hours, drinking, talking, and bullshitting. So, got the second half to that episode, and hope you enjoy. I'm hoping to do more Zoom episodes with different people that I can get a hold of and wrangle to be on here. Again, if you enjoy, please spread this through word of mouth to anyone who you think might want to listen to this. And also, please consider subscribing to the Patreon for $5 a month. You'll get an extra 20-minute bonus episode with, the release of an actual full-length episode. Also, if there's anything that you might be interested to see me do on Patreon, something that in addition to the 20-minute episode might make you sign up for that $5 a month, or if something that you might think that I could do for those higher tiers, because I don't have a higher tier than the $5 a month one out there right now. Don't be afraid to reach out through any of the social media and put those ideas out there, and I'll consider. So without further ado, please enjoy the episode.
But time just isn't relevant anymore.
Yeah.
When I quit Melbeck, it seems like I quit it 6 months ago, in February, but it was 2 years ago almost now.
Mm.
When I dropped my millwright apprenticeship to become a fucking furniture salesman was 2 years ago.
Right.
It's been almost a full fucking year since I've been with JMS as a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems, I don't know how to put it. It seems weird.
Right. Yeah.
Time is flying by, no more.
Right.
There's videos I show up on my Snapchat of when Thor and Ace were puppies.
Right.
And now they're fucking 60 and 80 pound dogs. I'm like, oh, that was yesterday. And Brianna's like, no, that was a year ago. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. And this thing, COVID, doesn't help either. I completely lost the month of April. I couldn't tell you what happened.
I physically cannot, besides me getting the promotion in March.
Yeah.
I can tell you it was March 3rd at fucking 7:30 in the morning. It was when I got promoted from labor to supervisor.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason why I know that is because the first picture of me taking on March 3rd is my tracker for the day as supervisor. That's the only way I can tell you what time and what day it happened. Other than that, it's all blurred.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what I had fucking last week for dinner. Well, I can tell you one thing because I made hamburger sliders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I made hamburger sliders with some hamburger that I was meant to making homemade burgers with and never got to it.
Yeah.
Apparently, my homemade burgers are pretty famous here.
Oh yeah. I made some the one night, and my roommate liked the ones I made.
No, but I go to Costco, I buy the hamburger, I mix everything. The one Christmas gift this year was you hit an adult when you get a food saver for Christmas and you're excited. You're like, fuck
yeah.
Yeah. Am I going to save so much money?
I like looking through cookbooks now to see what recipes there are, what I can make.
That's my problem. I looked at Brianna and I was like, what are we going to have tonight? And that's how I came out with the hamburger sliders, because I make chicken sliders as well, right? I'll cook chicken, I'll put it in a bowl, use a blender and blend it up, and then add barbecue sauce. I'm like, fuck, I got this chicken just sitting here. Hamburger, what am I going to? It's like, I'll make hamburger sliders. And I'm like, I've officially become an adult. So last night, the get together I went to last night was our Zoom room operator at the hospital.
Okay.
He invited us all over. Now he's black and he's got he's got a backstory to him. Not a backstory I'm willing to share over this because he's told us, and it's not something I should be sharing to other people.
Okay.
But he when he was dancing, he goes, "This is how we dance," and he's doing the typical you use just your upper body and dancing. He's like, "I want to see a white guy dance." And everybody looked at me. I'm like, I am not drunk enough yet. Now, Brianna calls me the dad of white dancing. Because I seriously white dad dance.
Yeah.
You get enough liquor in me and I can dance like a white dad forever.
Yeah.
And especially if you put Footloose on, I'm gone. There's no stopping me. I am making my way to that dance floor, and God forbid if it's a security guard or anybody in my way, I will still dance.
I feel like I have that problem with karaoke.
I don't do karaoke. I can't sing. I know I can't sing.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like I go in there's like, oh, I'm not going to get up there and do that. Then I get a beer or two in me, and then it's like, oh, I'll leaf through. I'll see what they have, and it's like, oh, there's these old country songs. I'll go.
You can't get any worse than my dad. My brother Shillen's ex-girlfriend Allison has a video of my dad singing "Friends in Low Places" by Garth Brooks.
Oh, beauty!
And it is horrid.
Really?
Oh fuck yeah! Okay, we both know my dad.
Yeah.
If I got anything from my father, it is my dancing skills, and they are not good. And his singing skills are not any better.
Oh God! I remember the one night at the university bars they had the karaoke guy up there, and I decided to do "The Devil Went Down to Georgia."
Oh no!
Holy fuck! It actually went over good, but I was beat. I was done. I got props from the karaoke guy, but it was.
Well, you know what TikTok is.
I know of TikTok.
Okay, so I don't have any videos, but I downloaded the app because I like watching some of the videos.
You
fun.
You Chinese spy.
They're funny to watch. Pardon?
I said you Chinese spy.
Fuck yeah! Let's open up this topic right now. You want something for this podcast?
Yeah.
Everybody's worried that the Chinese are spying on us through TikTok.
Yeah.
You sign up for a phone. It automatically makes you put an email, your first name, your last name, your middle name, your banking information, everything.
Right.
You sign up for Facebook, same thing. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, fucking Snapchat, everything.
Right.
You want to buy an app on your phone. Congratulations, they have your credit card information.
Yeah.
People thinking you are not being watched 24/7 are the ones that are the stupid ones.
Yeah, but the difference is that it's China and they're a hostile government.
You think the States is any better?
Aren't they supposed to be the shining beacon on the hill, lovely freedoms and all that jazz?
Yeah, sure. You got oil? Here's freedom. Like, I understand people's worriment. Okay, you don't want to be spied on. You don't want to be watched. Like, your webcam on your laptop, you want to cover up. I get it. Yeah. It's not fun to be watched. You wouldn't want some guy looking out your window at you, so why would you want someone spying through your laptop? But the second you sign up for anything, you automatically give permission. Because no one reads the privacy and policy fucking agreement. No. You just click, yeah, sure, okay, and you fucking away you go. Because no one's got fucking 25 years of their life to read the agreements.
Right, yeah.
And there's so much stuff in the fine print. Oh, do you really want to read that all? No.
Right.
That you're already saying, sure, whatever. Like, look at Russia. Russia made the thing on Facebook where they can use, where it would show how old, like what you would look like when you're older.
Oh, yeah.
And in that agreement that you clicked on, whatever.
Yeah.
They can use your photo forever they want in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some white girl out there with her photo in Russia that says, do you really want to be HPV positive? Like, people don't understand that once you hit yes, it's there.
And this is it. It's not they're going and stealing this information. Is that
you're willingly giving it to them.
You're willingly giving all these entities this information.
And that's, I've learned over the years that, you know what? And that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand about. So, like, there was a TikToker that was talking about, if you don't support the Black Life, BLM, I'll just call it BLM because it's easier, that you should be, or that she was going to stab you and hunt you down or whatever. I don't remember the full thing. I didn't really pay attention because in my mind, I didn't give a fuck. She lost her job.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, oh, that company doesn't support the BLM. They can easily support BLM. That is no problem. What they do not support is that person's views towards violence of other people.
Well, yeah, that's it. Any death threat made against anybody, regardless of what movement you're trying to attach that to, is like no bueno, not okay.
Don't get me wrong. I support BLM. I believe there's some stuff to it. But my thing is, it stops once you start looting. Looting, shooting, fires, that's not part of it. Because, that guy's got insurance. Insurance is not there to help you guys. And that's what no one understands. You get in a car accident, anybody that's been into an accident, any real person that's been into an accident where it's a 50-50 draw. Like, okay, were you at fault? Maybe you weren't, maybe you were. Your insurance is there to fuck you over. All they care about is that money coming out of your account at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah, no.
Now, am I saying that if you drive through a green light and you get T-boned, they're not going to help you? They're going to help you because you're not at fault. But the second it looks like, we can get away with not helping this person, they're going to try to fucking get away from that.
Oh, that's...
we don't have to pay you because you looked left when you should have looked right. Oh, fuck, I guess you don't get coverage now.
Yeah, and that's part of the shitty thing, too, is that they're purposely trying to deny people, money that they're pretty much rightly entitled to.
Yep. So when I had my 2016 F-150, I sent you the pictures. You know what it looked like.
Yeah.
We didn't get insurance involved. We didn't want it. We didn't have to. For the simple fact that, it was an oil field company that skinned the front of my truck.
Okay.
I will not name what oil field company because they do not deserve whatever harassment. Right. But the guy was right on it. Like, he left a note on my windshield saying, hey, sorry, like, I got pushed by a transport. The only thing that saved me was that I was parked on the proper side of the road.
Okay.
If I was parked on the other side of the road, fuck, they could have told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah.
And I would have been out $4,500 easily.
Oh, yeah.
My truck got a new tire, a new front bumper, chrome bumper, new headlight, new front panel. I think the front driver door got repainted.
Yeah.
And I think the back panel had to be repainted, or the back passenger door had to be repainted. It all got redone because I was on the proper side of the road.
Yeah.
Now, if I was on the wrong side of the road,
you're SOL.
I would have been SOL. Now, if I had to go through my insurance company, they probably would have told me to go SOL myself too.
Yeah. No, that's just it. It's just insurance is just a dirty, dirty game, and they're all just trying to accumulate more wealth and not actually do the job that they're supposed to do, is help people out.
No, and a lot of people don't understand. In Canada, it's easy. You have insurance. Canada insurance companies are pretty easy to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, we have universal health care. That's meant for everybody.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the things I was going to bring up. But when I was still at home, my mom, she goes onto Reddit a lot.
Yep.
And I just don't really. She got into this one thing about how just horror stories of the American healthcare insurance thing. People like a woman is giving birth to a child, and as she's giving birth, like they're harassing her. Like, what's your insurance information? What's your numbers and all that, just to make sure that they can still like be in that hospital to give birth. Like, she's in the middle of giving birth.
Yeah, like the baby is drowning, for fuck's sakes. And
right. And you can't like how as a human being, how can you just look at yourself like, I can wait 5 minutes?
So a lot of guys won't get that, and a lot of people won't get this either. Me and the girlfriend sat down. We watched all 15 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
Now, being that said, it's your typical soap opera kind of deal. Like, everybody sleeps with each other. But it's actually an eye opener to how the states run their hospitals.
Yeah.
Like, the one girl was on the phone yelling at her insurance company because they would not cover the bill.
Right.
Where in Canada, that exact bill would have been covered.
Right.
So yeah, okay, it's a girly show. Yeah, whatever. Like I'll admit, I watched it.
You're a white
bad.
girl.
I didn't mind it. But at the end of the day, it was like, holy fuck! In the States, this is what the States have to deal with. Like Jesus fuck.
Yeah, like I would never, especially like right now with the COVID, like
don't get me wrong. I support Trump. There's some things I support him, and some things I don't. There's some things I will not support him on.
Okay. Before we go any further, how can you say that now? Like, it's if you said this
4 years ago.
4 years ago, it's
that okay. Let me rephrase that. 4 years ago, I probably would have voted for him. Now I wouldn't.
Okay,
but then again, I wouldn't vote for any of the state's candidates. Who are you going to vote in? Biden? He's not any better. Right now, he's
this is it.
Under investigation for child pedophilia.
Okay, but Trump also has rape allegations against him. So like, I'm not saying this is how I've equated it. Is what would you rather have? Would you rather have a shit sandwich or a shit sandwich with cheese? Like that,
depending who has the shit sandwich with cheese, you know.
Yeah, that's it. You're gonna get a little bit of a respite from that shit, but it's still shit.
Yeah, but the cheese is gonna kind of hinder it a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Now, it's the same thing here. Grand Prairie has gone. Fuck, I don't even remember how many years. So we have what is it? Every year that you do your vote, or is it still every 4 years you vote for provincial or citywide? Seating.
Yeah, it goes along with your provincial.
Yeah. It's been like, I don't know, 17 years, and Grand Prairie has been conservative.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's an actual map of the last time they could show you when the NDP or Liberal was in Grand Prairie.
Well, I'm sure you could find one, but...
You could find one, but, like, the guy that's been doing it's like...
been a blue stronghold for a while now.
Yeah, but it's a very conservative city. People like oil. People like guns. People like money.
Right.
We do not like giving that up.
No.
But Grand Prairie is known as a city that never dies.
Yeah.
Like when gas fell, remember a couple years ago when gas fell down to like, oh, fuck, nobody has gas.
Right, yeah.
Like oil prices were like all-time low, everything.
Right.
Grand Prairie was still busting with people because it's surrounded by propane and natural gas as well. So if oil fields die, everybody switches over to the next fucking thing. No one cares.
Yeah.
All the tickets pass. Like if you have H2S, congratulations, you can work at all three.
Right.
So being that said, with Trudeau in government, he is not liked out here.
No, I can imagine that.
There's a reason why the Wexit is making such a big stronghold out here in the West.
Is it really like okay? Because I have another group chat with a bunch of people who used to go to Algoma, right?
Yeah.
There's one guy from out west, and he's made fun of Wexit. Is Wexit like really like a serious thing out there? Like
yeah, like if we could, we would separate from the rest of Canada easily. Manitoba over.
Really?
Now, with that being said, the problem is BC.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's a reason why I won't, like, it's a girlfriend, like, with me and Brianna go to BC, we don't stop in Jasper, even though it's in Alberta.
Okay.
I don't stop and stay overnight in BC ever with the Jeep.
Really?
That has an Alberta plate, you are more likely to have your vehicle damaged than anything else.
Really?
Yeah. British Columbia residents, I'm sorry for anybody that listens to this and you're from BC, you're fucking assholes. They will key your vehicle for no fucking reason because it has an Alberta plate on it. Now, you want to know who fucking drives the worst in Grand Prairie, Alberta? Every BC resident there is.
Of course. Well, okay. Two things I got to say. To that point in particular, well, they're obviously out-of-towners. I mean, there's never a time when out-of-towners drive pleasantly.
If you're from Dawson Creek, you're not from out of town. Dawson Creek is like driving here to, Wawa.
Okay. The next thing is, okay, I got to say, I completely 100% disagree with all your politics. But I would never key your car. I would never key someone else's car just because they come from out of province. But
it's almost like Ontario and Quebec. Like, if you have an Ontario plate driving through Quebec, like deep in Quebec, like you got to go from my parents' place in Earlton to Montreal. There's a 9 times out of 10 chance that you're going to get pulled over by a Quebec officer. No question asked. They're going to see Ontario and they're going to pull you over.
No, it's been
same thing with BC.
Yeah.
They see an Alberta plate and they're like, gotcha. And they try to ticket you on everything.
Yeah.
Now, when COVID hit, BC shut down their borders.
Right.
Not really fully, but kind of said, hey, if you don't need to be in this province, don't fucking show up.
Okay, yeah.
When they reopened it up, they made a special exemption to Alberta.
Oh, really?
If you're from Alberta, please do not come here, is what they said.
Really?
Yeah, they pretty much said, hey, you can be from any other province, but if you're from Alberta, we don't want to see you in this fucking province.
But for the majority of people, you have to drive through Alberta anyway if you're trying to go to BC.
Now, yeah, but your plate doesn't say Alberta.
Right.
You drove out here to visit me, and I said, hey, let's go to Vancouver, and I'll show you around Vancouver and that, right?
Yeah.
We'll take my truck. We'll get turned around at the border.
Yeah.
Well, let's say we'll take the PT Cruiser. They'd be like, oh, you're from Ontario. Come on through. You're just here for a tour, aren't you? It is physically like the Sault Ste. Marie border. Going to the States, you get interrogated. Coming back through, they're like, hey, what you buy? Oh, yeah, coffee? Okay, keep on going. Have a good day, sir. Like, it's, people don't understand is that the Trans Mountain, so not to bring this in, but I actually wanted to bring this in. The Trans Mountain Pipeline. Yeah. At first, yes, it looks like it's not a big job. Like at the end of it, everybody looks at the end. Okay, it's only really going to keep 40 people in a routine job. Okay. But as it's being built, it's looking at like 4,000 people to be hired. Right. That's a lot of work for a couple-year project. Right. And now, don't get me wrong.
I don't agree with okay. I don't know much about this. I haven't looked into much about this, but from what I see, I am not in favor of more pipelines. But in favor of your argument, the other thing too is it's not just those 4,000 jobs directly on that project. It's also the other jobs that feed off of that, right? Like it's all the school teachers and restaurant work, all that support those people.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, if the pipeline runs close to a city where a guy can be home every night, right? He's going to move his family from whatever fucking small town he's in to that place. Right. So now that place might have a population of, let's say, 1,500. Let's say it's just Shaplo, 3,000 people. A pipeline is being built 25 clicks out of town. Right. You're going to have a jump in population of people moving their families in. Right. Just so they're home every night. They're not away from the kids, not away from the wife. So your population, let's say, is triple. So from 3 to 9. Mm-hmm. Now you have restaurants that are getting more people in. And because it's good money, like pipelining, it's good money. Right. Don't get me wrong. You got a lot of LOA and a lot of fucking hours. Right. So you're going to have people come in from out of town, spend the money at restaurants. To move their family in that in. Now you have teachers. Teachers are going to have to be called in. Teachers are going to make a more amount because they'll have isolation pay if they're in fuck nowhere. Right. And then you have the wives. The wives are going to have to quit their job and find a new job in town. So now you're creating jobs in that town. Fort McMurray is probably the best example for this. Right. Well, it's seriously surrounded nothing but oil fields and pipelines.
Fair, but also did they not have a huge fire? And then a huge flood a few years after that.
Yes, they did have the big fire, 2015, I think?
Yeah, and then...
And the big flood was this year.
Right.
Now, the big flood... So, how do I put it? Fort McMurray was built underwater level. Right. So they have 3 rivers that kind of run through town. Like, I've never been there. This is what I've heard from one of the security guards that work at the hospital. Her parents live there. They have like this kind of 3 river system that runs through the town on the one side or down the middle or something like that, right? Okay. Because one of those places that was built way back when If you had water running through it, oh, perfect. Let's fucking settle here.
Yeah.
What happened though was all the ice broke. When all the ice finally broke away, it all gathered up at one spot.
Right.
So it technically made a beaver dam that was 100 times more efficient than an actual beaver dam is.
Mm-hmm.
So it backed up all the water.
Yeah.
But if you already build a town that's under water level,
and then
water's got to go somewhere.
Right.
So like a good example of this is where the girlfriend moms go camping. It's called Moody's Crossing. A beautiful place. Nice. Like if anybody was to ever come visit Grand Prairie and they said, I brought a camper, that is where I would bring them. Mm-hmm. You can walk from your campsite to the river. The river's nice. It's a good. It almost reminds me of Robinson Bay.
Okay.
I can't. The water level got so freaking high there that it was only 12 feet from the bottom of the bridge that crosses that river. Now you're talking like a major highway, like Highway 43 is the major highway between Edmonton and Grand Prairie. It is the only highway that connects them.
Yeah.
Without going down 40 south into Hinton and across.
Okay.
So when that water level got so high, it flooded that whole campsite.
Yeah.
Like that was what like Fort McMurray was like. All of a sudden there was just water. Flash flood.
Jeez.
So people don't understand is that out here when that happens, a lot of times we don't have a lot of assistance from the government.
No.
Well, and especially with the 2015 or I think it was 2015, right?
Yeah, the fire.
Fires. We used a lot of our emergency funds for that.
Yeah.
You just don't get the funds back. Like Alberta doesn't fucking. I think this is the first year in a long time that Alberta has had to ask the government for money.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
Fucking COVID.
Yeah.
But our emergency relief plan wasn't really in place for a flood in Fort McMurray.
Right.
So I don't know how to put it. Like, I feel sorry for them, and I don't because, like, if you're gonna build a fucking city, don't build it on water level or lower than water level.
Yeah, look at this too. I mean, half of it's built in the swamp. There's a lot of major.
Grand Prairie is a swamp.
Yeah.
We have one tall building.
Yeah. There's a lot of cities all over the world that are built, at or below water level. It's unfortunate when these things happen, but it's best is just to deal and adapt with it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the suit also doesn't help that. Like, what the hell is it? If they were to blow up the steel mill, you would coat all the west end of Sault Ste. Marie in water.
Yeah.
And not like 6 inches. I mean, like, I think it was like 6 or 7 feet of water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when, I don't know if you remember, in 2013, they had an explosion at the steel mill.
Right.
All it was someone accidentally put water on, I can't even remember what the fuck the chemical name is. It's almost like it's almost like super hot steel. It's almost like lava, right?
Okay.
Someone's going to correct me on my terminology. Hopefully someone's listening to this and understands what the fuck I'm talking about. But the explosion shook the west end.
Right.
And everybody thought it was one of the blast furnaces blowing up.
Okay.
Now, what a lot of people don't understand, if one of the blast furnaces blew up in the steel mill, we wouldn't have a west end of town. Like where Grandma Stewart and Aunt Cheryl are, might be out of the crater of what would be West End Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah.
But like Aurora's, Market Mall, Cora High School, H.M. Robbins, like Bayview, that area would be nothing but a hole in the ground.
Right.
If the steel mill ever was to blow up.
Right.
Because the problem is that blows up, you're going to create a chain reaction between blast furnaces, and you better hope the fuck the 2 mill doesn't go either.
Right.
So people got to understand, like, when a little explosion like that happens, don't expect it's a blast furnace. Because if you can Facebook about it, it's not a blast furnace.
No, but back to the pipelines.
Yep.
So Okay, the way I understand it is that these pipelines are being built to ship the unrefined crude oil down to the Texas refineries.
So the Trans Mountain Pipeline is meant to ship it to Vancouver.
Okay.
So it would go to Vancouver, or it would fill up on a barge.
Yeah.
And be shipped from barge to a refinery.
Okay.
Now this is where I come in. This is where I hate pipelines, and this is where I hate the government.
Okay.
If we can have these pipelines in our country, would it not be smarter for us to refine it in our country and use our own country's oil?
Okay, see that's what I was going to say. Why not build a refinery in Alberta?
And that's my thing. So a lot of people don't know this, is that actually underneath Edmonton, and a couple 100 feet underneath Edmonton, is natural gas reserves.
Okay.
Now they're human-made.
Okay.
So underneath Edmonton used to be giant salt holes. They're pretty much almost like underneath Lake Huron, where they have the big salt mines.
Right.
But these were like craters where like the outlining of the crater was salt.
Okay.
So what they did was they drilled into it and hit it with high pressured hot steam.
Okay.
Which made the salt pretty much solid. They would fill that out with natural gas.
Okay.
So they could pull that through. If I could ever get you out here to Edmonton, I would show you the south side of Edmonton. Now, the southeast side of Edmonton is all refineries, all natural gas refineries.
Okay.
Underneath all those refineries are natural gas reserves, human-made natural gas reserves.
Right.
So that's my problem with the Trans Mountain Pipeline, is them wanting to ship it to Vancouver. They could easily made it. I don't care if they fucking made it in Yellowknife. Make a refinery somewhere in Canada where we can use our own oil and judge our own oil prices off by what we use. Because a lot of people think that oil sands is bad. Like, they destroy the area and it's so bad after they're done. What they don't realize is that the regulations for that are through the roof. So when an oil sand is done, they have to return it back to its original state.
Okay.
So if it was a cedar swamp, when they tore it down, when they're done, it has to be a cedar swamp.
Right.
And they're responsible for however long it takes for it to become a cedar swamp again.
Right.
Yeah, okay, we're going to be busting through a lot of trees and a lot of ground. You're never going to see the pipeline. It doesn't stick above ground. It's usually buried. You're talking about kilometers upon kilometers of pipe. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely not the safest way to fucking transfer oil.
No.
But neither is train and neither is transport. Like, you're never going to have a 100% safety rating.
No.
But if transporting it by transport and train is like having unprotected sex, pipeline is like, I put a condom on and I don't know if my friend poked a hole in it or not. That's the easiest way to put it, because how do I put it?
Yeah.
High pressured at transport, right? Driver falls asleep behind the wheel. He ends up in the ditch.
Yeah.
Train. In the last 3 years, we've seen more train derailments than anything.
Yeah. Well, that more has to do to the tracks.
Yeah. But you tell me CN Rail is going to keep the tracks at 100% for the next fucking 10 years while we transport oil?
No, and the thing is that it's not even like that. It's like they're barely at like what 50%, like in terms of like they don't have the money coming in anymore, so they're not.
Well, they don't have the money. They don't have the manpower. So like Hope Highway in BC between Ashcroft, BC, and Chilliwack. Yeah. So you've heard of Highway Through Hell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The Coquihalla?
Yeah.
That is pretty much puts Chilliwack to Kelowna.
Yeah.
That highway goes up fucking mountains into like where you could be climbing up a mountain and halfway through, all of a sudden you hit winter.
Right.
Well, Hope Highway was the old highway before that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. On one side of the highway is highway. On the other side of the river is train tracks. Yeah. It's not nice train tracks. I mean, like, you'll go 5 kilometers straight, and then you'll have a fucking hairpin turn.
Ooh.
like the highway is not like if you after this chat Google the highway and look at on Google Maps or Apple Maps, whatever you use, it is seriously like 129 of Ontario.
Yeah.
Up, down, left, right. That is seriously it. It's like you're driving through the Swiss Alps.
Jeez.
Now, try putting a train through there and keeping those tracks at 100% with erosion from the river.
Right.
And regular, if they got it, like Chilliwack. So the girlfriend's cousin lives in Chilliwack. Her dad lives in Ashcroft, also known as the desert of Canada. It was December 15th last year. I was removing 3 feet of snow from up here, and her dad was cutting the fucking grass.
Yeah.
It's only a 12-hour drive between us. In 12 hours, I went from removing snow to cutting grass.
Yeah.
So they're not getting snowfall at that time of year. They're getting rain. Rain erodes a lot of shit.
Right.
So train isn't the best travel either.
No.
Where pipeline, like you might have a bust once in a while, but the bust is easy. You shut the fucking pipe down, you weld it back up, and it keeps going.
Right.
No, I'm not saying pipeline is great. Like fucking, unless you can give me 100% fucking guarantee that pipe's not going to bust.
Right, and you can.
And you can't because it's like, so my boss replaced all the cutting edges on our bucket.
Yeah.
I cut all the old cutting edges off. I buffed them down, cut them nice so that the welder could come in and cut them. The second scoop that our operator took with that bucket folded the bucket in half. There's never a guarantee that metal will last.
Right.
Good example of this, and I hate to say it, was when I was in college. When we used to have to do our x-ray training in Campucci's class, he would purposely bring in a shitty piece of metal.
Oh, yeah?
You could tell the crack was deep because the metallic chalk that we used would be sucked into the crack. Like a pipeline is not 100%.
No.
Remember I don't know if you ever seen the photo where it was like a mom left a condom for her son, but like she put a thumbtack in it. That is pretty much a pipeline. You know it's going to fail, but you don't know where and when.
Yeah.
Now, the only way to, like, in my mind, if you're going to put a pipeline, okay, and you want to make it 100%, and I know that no pipeline would ever do this because it would cost them too much. You put a second pipe over top of the first one. You make it like the new, when you see guys driving around with a gas tank in their box?
Right.
A slip tank.
Yeah.
Is the proper term. They're double layered nowadays.
Okay.
So if the first layer breaks, you have the second layer to hold everything.
Right, yeah.
Pretty much is how they would have to do pipelines.
Yeah.
So they would first have the first layer. So let's say it's a 12-inch in diameter, inside diameter pipeline.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure. Your second one would be like a 16-inch diameter inside pipe that goes over top.
Okay.
And that is so if you had a leak on your first one, your second one would catch it, and all it does is hold it.
Right.
But the problem with that, though, is you'd have to keep the second one pressurized.
Right.
Where if you pop the leak in, you can opt it so the crude oil would be able to flow down under pressure, because you can't flow shit uphill. You can try, but good fucking luck. And if you do it, praise to God. Let me come see, because I would love to watch that show happen.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not working on that anytime soon.
There's $1 million idea for you, Matt.
Yeah, no. But I mean, that's where, with your plan there, that's where the government should step in and subsidize companies to, R&D that.
But the problem is the government doesn't want, like, how I put, Trudeau tried to make up for his boo-boos here in Alberta by saying, okay, I'm going to approve the Trans-Canada pipeline.
Trans Mountain, yeah.
Whatever. I fucking can't remember. But at the same time, he also canceled it because he wouldn't step in when it came down to BC saying, hey, we're not allowing that to go through.
Right.
Until we can prove that it's safe to travel. Like, you cannot guarantee. I can throw chickens on a boat, 100,000 chickens on a barge, and say, "Oh, it's perfectly safe," but it's not, because sea conditions are never 100% safe.
Right. Yeah.
And the greatest way that I can explain that is the one boat ride we took from Thessalon, Ontario to Copenhagen, Island, Ontario.
Yeah.
24.5 nautical miles. Isn't very long.
Yeah.
I still kissed the ground after that fucking boat ride when we hit 14-foot waves.
Yeah.
Nothing makes a man scared of weather than when you're in a boat and you smack a wave and it throws you off your seat.
Rough seas are just, it's one of those things because you're essentially completely helpless. Like there's nothing besides
if you go over
your life jacket on, you trust the captain. I mean, what more can you do?
And I would trust Uncle Scott and Uncle Evan with my life. They've done it all. Boat fully loaded hunting season with fucking how many rounds of ammunition for hunting season through 18-footers. To the boat not having anything in it, where my Uncle Evan took my mom out in 12-foot seas. Because she had to be back for work.
Yeah.
Like, I would trust him with my life. But there's a point where Mother Nature makes you scared.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the good example would be the Edward Fitzgerald.
Edmund Fitzgerald.
Edmund. I knew it was Edmund, too. That's the worst part.
Yeah, you said it right. You know.
I said it right the first time. I don't know why I switched it. But look at their captain and their crew. That was probably one of the best crews you can have out on the lake at the time. And Lake Superior still said, fuck you.
Well, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, with what happened with that one, because I forget exactly how long the ship was. But what happened was they were filled with iron ore. And this is just me going off the top of my head, so who knows how. So what happened was that as the wave, because they were so long and there was
such big waves.
Yeah, but there was big waves, but there was the distance between the waves was shorter than the boat. So what happened was that you got to a point where there was a wave supporting the front end of the boat and there was a wave supporting the ass end of the boat. But then the center, where all the iron ore was, there was no support. It was in that.
Yeah, well, what they figured they hit was what they call Caribou Reef in Lake Superior. Yeah. Now, Caribou Reef, what they figured was exactly like you said. The ass end was supported, the front end was supported.
Yeah.
And then they hit the reef right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah.
Now, what people don't understand is that when you smack a boat right in the middle of fucking solid rock, don't matter how strong the fucking boat is, it's going to crack.
Right.
The best way to say this is if I take a fucking 16-pound sledgehammer and take it to the side of an F-150, I'm going to put a hole in it.
Probably.
Not probably. I know I will. It's a fucking military-grade aluminum.
Yeah.
Well, I love Ford, but it's not strong steel.
That's the thing is it's aluminum.
Oh, that's another topic we'll touch upon in a couple minutes here. Okay. But that's what happened was that apparently they think that they hit. Sorry, I got a puppy trying to join here.
Oh, that's okay.
He is one cuddles. They think that they hit I think it's called Caribou Reef or something. A wave picked up the front end, and as they were coming down, the wave picked up the wave that picked up the front end on the first time went to the back end, and before the next wave to pick up the front end, it smacked down on the reef. And there's actually a discovery. They call it, what is that? I think it's called the History now. It's not called the History Channel anymore.
Whatever.
But back in 2009, the History Channel came out with a big documentary about it. It was like an hour and 45 minutes long, about everything that could have happened to the boat.
Yeah.
How it sank, what it was carrying, why it sunk as fast as it did, like how come nobody lived, and like now you're not allowed to dive near it. It's classified as a graveyard.
Right.
Now, if Lake Superior can produce those waves, imagine what the Atlantic Ocean is going to do in the fucking Pacific Ocean. They're not going to be any friendlier.
No, that's it. Once when I was 14, I went to Italy and Greece, eh?
Yeah, I remember that.
And one of the things when we were going strictly from Italy to Greece, we got a ferry in Bari, actually.
Yeah.
And over to Patros, I think. And that night, I passed out early. I was really tired for whatever reason. But apparently everyone else said it was super rough waves all throughout that. And there's this one guy who's an American. I guess he was prone to night terrors. And
I remember you telling me this. But
yeah,
continue.
The waves triggered him. He got up, he started flailing. He had hit the light in his room and, cut up his hand and everything. And it took one of his roommates to bear hug him to get him to calm down. And everybody was sick and they didn't have a good sleep, except for me. I was perfectly fine. I'm not sure where I was going with that. Something about the rough waves, whatever.
No, but to tie into that too, that was when we went from, because you remember when I went to Italy, Rome, Rome is part of Italy, for fuck's sakes.
Is it?
Italy. Yeah, no, totally. No, it's part of France, I believe, actually. But we went to Switzerland, Italy, Monte Carlo, and Nice, France.
Yeah.
We had the boat. You ferried to Venice. That's the only way on the fucking place. We hit 2.5 foot chops.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is an oversized pontoon boat we're on.
Right.
We're bouncing around, and to make the story relevant, I get motion sickness. You know this. Ben knows this.
Yeah.
I don't really get boat motion sickness anymore, but I get car motion sickness. So I had breakfast one morning in Switzerland, and on our way down from the top of the mountain to Lucerne, I got sick. I puked 5 minutes before we stopped. I was that fucking close. But the problem is that once we got on the boat, everybody's looking at me oh no, Andrew's going to get sick. And I'm standing there no guys, if this water could get rougher, it'd be better. You're in a pontoon boat and a 2.5 foot chop. I'm sitting there this is boring as shit. I'm used to worse.
Right.
The pop can. It's a giant tin boat that bounces around on Lake Huron.
Right.
Well, there's Patty. She's turning blue and green. Yeah. She's looking sick, and I'm you guys gotta watch out for her. Not being nice and telling them hey, she gets boat sick easily.
Yeah.
It's from when we had to take the 14 footers across.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time where we ended up taking what it should have been an hour and 45 minutes to a 3.5 hour boat ride because we almost ended up on Drummond Island.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't tell you about that one.
I don't remember it.
That was April. We were coming across. It was early in the season, right? It was one of those winters where nothing really froze.
Yeah.
Coming across, the first little bit was fine. It was only 9.5 footers. I slept through most of it. What woke me up was when I came 45 degrees to almost falling out the fucking side door.
Oh, jeez.
We hit a rogue wave, hit us from the side, a 14-footer, pushed the boat over. And when I woke up, I was facing water.
Right, yeah.
The window behind me was facing nothing but gray.
Yeah.
Your uncle will remember this because your uncle tried to get a hold of us for hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is when it was Uncle Levin pointing out waves and Uncle Scott driving around them.
Ooh.
But ever since then, Aunt Cheryl and Patty can't take rough water.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That was a scary boat ride.
Well,
That was before they took out. That was the last boat ride before they took out the wall that separated the front of the boat to the back of the boat.
Right.
That is part of the reason why they took out that wall.
Yeah.
But that was a bad boat ride. And then going over to Venice, to Patty, that was a bad boat ride, which I don't blame her. You're in a pond, you're on instead of a 14-foot pontoon boat, you're pretty much on a 24-foot pontoon boat.
Yeah.
That doesn't handle waves
no.
I'd rather be in a smart car going down a bumpy road than be in that boat.
Yeah.
I could have sent a smart car from the sky and landed nose first into water, and I would have been, that was smoother. Like, that's how rough that boat ride was.
Yeah.
It was one of those boat rides where it was not nice. And that's where people don't understand. Is that, like, it don't matter the boat, don't matter the water, it don't matter what you're hauling. Like, if Mother Nature says, I'm going to take you out, I'm going to take you out. That's it.
Right, yeah.
The boys are all excited bringing us home.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't seen her in like 5 hours, but they're like, oh no, like, you abandoned us.
Right, yeah. Well, that's it. Dogs just... It's different for them. Hi.
No, so like the Trans-Canada pipeline, like if they did it right, like I was saying, like if they wanted to do it right, that'd be the way to do it. But
well,
they can't do it.
And like I said, that's where government should come in and do R&D to look at that and maybe other ways that are safer and or
But you'll never get that with a government that's separating the parties. You'll never have that because NDP will have their own, Liberal will have their own agenda, and then the Conservatives will have their own agenda.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a problem with politics in general. Is that
Yeah, it all depends on who pays for whose bills, is who's going to get what vote.
And that's it. like,
oh, you're going to pay my bill for this? Perfect. I will definitely do what you're saying. Like, no, fuck.
Yeah.
Or listen to what the people want.
Well, and this is it. It's hard for like politicians nowadays to have like vote on principles and.
Yeah, it's not like back in the day where like big companies really didn't I can't even remember the word. Didn't push the vote, right? Like you didn't have these hidden agendas.
Well, here in
Canada, had hidden agendas.
In Canada, it's still not supposed to work like that. But in the United States, they have a real problem with what's the word? There's a specific word for it, and I can't. They essentially funnel money into politicians, like these.
Yeah, but they do it in a way because I think in the States they still can't do it in a way where it's like, oh, we're going to pay for all his campaign because he's going to do what we want.
Well, they can and they can't. So, like in Canada, it's illegal to my knowledge. But like in the United States, they have. I'm blanking on the word, but there's this process by which they donate money to these certain politicians in their campaigns. And then there's other things called super PACs, where they're allowed to, it's pretty much just a third party that they give money to the super PAC, and then the super PAC supports, politicians with these certain views. It's just a go-between. And sure, there's limits, but there's always ways to get around these limits and such.
Well, like, I know, like, problem with Trump is like he's already a millionaire, like multi-millionaire, right? He's had his show, he's had all this.
Yeah.
But even as a multi-millionaire, a billion-dollar company, like if Bill Gates walked up to him, fucking Donald Trump, and said, "Hey, I'll support your campaign if you do this," Donald Trump would be stupid to say, "Fuck no." Like you're talking about a guy that's in the billionaire list. Of like there's like 4 or 5 people in the world that's in that list.
It's not just the hard money that a name like Bill Gates comes with. It's also the
rep,
the power. Like, it's the
Microsoft. I'm just as bad as anybody. I'd buy a Microsoft computer. Yeah. I don't like HP. I don't like. There's certain things I don't like.
Yeah.
But like, I will easily buy something that is Microsoft, like Xbox. I play Xbox through and through.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Christ! Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought for a second here.
Yeah.
Like I pay Microsoft $18 a month so I can keep my unlimited membership.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you got to think in the States you have how many Americans paying into that monthly.
Oh yeah.
So a good example would be Forza Horizon 4 came out. It dropped. It's an excellent game. It's a racing game.
Yeah.
The second it came out on Microsoft's Game Plus Ultimate. For $18 a month, I can play this game forever. Don't have to worry about it. Don't have to buy a hard copy. I don't have to go drop $80. And then with that game, I get another fucking 300 other games with it. Or $299, whatever it is. And they're not, like, don't get me wrong, half are good, half are bad. But that's any smart business move, right?
Right.
Half the gamers are going to want the shitty games, and half the gamers are going to want the good games.
Yeah.
I have no problem paying $18 a month to play the fucking 23, 24 good games that they have that I think, I can play.
Yeah.
Instead of me going to drop $90 plus fucking another $35 every other month for a new DLC.
Right.
Like Bill Gates. I remember when it was just for the richest man in the world, it used to be Bill Gates and an oil company typhoon. Between the two of them, every other day, depending on how the stock market went, would be the richest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Well, look at the owner of Amazon. He went through a divorce, and he's still
Bezos.
a billionaire.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
he took half his shit, and he's like, fuck it, I'll make it back tomorrow.
I don't think she even got half. I think she only got like a quarter of what, but still.
I think at the time, I think she got half.
Okay. No, but like with him, like look how good he did with the COVID and everything. Is everybody just sitting at home?
Well, when you're collecting the problem was though is you got a lot of these guys, a lot of these people in Canada that are making $15 an hour or less.
Yeah.
Well, what's minimum wage in Ontario?
It's 15. Oh, excuse me.
Is it 15?
Yeah.
So in Alberta, it's the same. It's 15. $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Even if you worked 40 hours a week, 5 days, 2 days off, all month, you still not pull in what CERB would give you.
Right.
So a lot of these part-time workers went, fuck it, I'll collect CERB.
And can you blame?
What do you do? Well, I can't blame them. Like, what do you do with the extra $400 or $500 you're going to get? Amazon, right. It is.
Yeah.
Like, sure, I'll buy something that'll be at my door in 3 fucking days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to say fucking no to that.
Right. No, and like it's even worse in like the bigger cities because like if you're in Toronto or whatever, it's like you can just get all your groceries.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like
right to your door too.
You have Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, all of them. Like they made big money on fucking COVID because no one wanted to go out.
No.
But then you have my dumbass like, I'm not paying fucking somebody a tip in delivery. Fuck it, I'll drive myself. Chances of me catching COVID, not that much. I'll go buy my own food, thank you. But now you have so the hospital that I work at, they have now just put in mask mandatory inside.
Yeah.
Now, like what? You've already done the damage, man. It's too late.
Yeah.
Or like Walmart Canada. Walmart now you need to have a mask to enter.
Yeah.
Why now? We're already 6 months into this thing.
Yeah, well, it's trying to stop the spread from going anymore. I mean, yeah, sure, it might be a little late in those specific cases, but it's to stop these people. Like I don't know if you've seen it's been a big problem in Toronto, and it's actually been a little bit of a problem in Ottawa too. Is these kids they're starting to have house parties now, and then
what do you expect out of Toronto, really?
Right. Yeah. So they go and they have these house parties. Of course, there's someone there who's sick with it, who doesn't know. Yep. They bring it back to their parents or whatever, and their parents are keeling over now because, they're in the risk group and the group at risk. And
well, that's like Doug Ford. Is it Doug Ford?
Premier, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it is Doug Ford. When he rolled out phase 2. Everybody in Toronto's like, oh, we'll have a giant fucking party.
When that first happened, if I'm not mistaken, Toronto, Windsor, a lot of large cities weren't included in the initial rollout of phase 2, and same thing when we went to phase 3 is that they were lagged behind because of shit like that and
Well, yeah, that was a problem.
Because the fact is they're just larger population centers, so of course they have larger numbers and all that shit too, but.
It does seem like with Alberta, I think actually has the lowest number of fucking deaths and COVID cases in every province.
Oh, really?
Well, besides New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, and North America. But it's kind of hard to have COVID cases when you shut your fucking borders right down.
Right, and that's the thing too. It's especially us compared to the States, Like
You can never compare Canada to the States for COVID because, I'm sorry to say, our IQ tests or our IQs are probably about 400 fucking points ahead of theirs.
It's just like there's and like don't get me wrong, because I have family and friends in the States, and they're all like nice, reasonable, intelligent people. But there's others down there that it's.
Well, you look at the rest of the states, and not to bring BLM into this, but all of a sudden George Floyd dies. He gets murdered. I will easily say it. He got murdered.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden they're like, let's go riot. Like, I understand you needed to do it. It needs to be there. But what the fuck? Like, you're in a pandemic.
Well, it's kind of
within 6 feet of each other. And well, look at Florida. Florida capped out at like what 17 or just under 18,000 cases in one night.
Right.
Like that's a lot of fucking people.
Well, I think two things with that is that one, I think in relation to that is that's not just something that people didn't just flip a switch and said, "Hey, let's riot because this one incident." There's been lots of incidents that led up.
Oh yeah, it's been built up. Don't get me wrong.
Right. So I think George Floyd was just the straw that broke the camel's back. And then I think part of it too was that because of COVID and because everyone was locked in for so long and not doing anything and it's all this craziness. So I think that contributed a lot to it too.
Well, yeah, you get people that are just, it gives them a reason to get out and get shown what they want to voice.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not just one catalyst. There's a lot of things that.
No.
Yeah.
But that's like, and this word drives me nuts, and I really never realized it until I started doing where a lot of Canada reserves don't have clean drinking water.
No.
I understand their need for it. Like, Trudeau is one to say, "Oh, we're here for every Canadian." Well, instead of how about giving a terrorist $10.5 million, how about you fucking give the NATO reserves $10.5 million?
Yeah.
Like, instead of giving our money everywhere else, start taking care of our own people first. It comes down to, like, helping your own people.
Yeah.
Like, so, I don't know if you remember the video of the vet going off on Trudeau. That was in Calgary, or I think. It was, like, last year or 2 years ago, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember if he was missing a leg. I think he had both arms, but he was missing a leg. It was right at the time where Trudeau said we don't have the means and the funds to give to the vets.
Okay.
And then he went and spent fucking X amount of money to India or whatever.
Mm.
The vet that stood up in that video was actually one of my good friend's buddies.
Okay.
He went to like high school with him and everything. Like knew him really well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where my buddy stepped in. It was like, where can you look at the vets that sacrificed limb and body parts and heart and soul until, we don't have enough. But you can turn around and give some other country $15 million or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I understand, like, we need to make good relations. You have to give and get.
Right. I mean, and that's part of the problem, too, is that there's this whole system of mutual reliance.
Yeah.
The problem is if you don't go out and do these goodwill gestures, then and you just try to handle everything internally and go through this process of what's called autarky, which is fairly self-reliance. Just you become isolationist and you shut yourself off from the rest of the world, and that's not good either. So the best thing is to try and strike a middle balance, and then the problem with that is that with anything, there's just never enough resources to go around, and you have to make. The
best thing to reference this to is when we play Risk with Ben, because Ben is that fucking communist asshole that wants to own everything, and everything bends to his fucking rule.
He's not a communist. He's just an asshole at that. He's just a complete dick because he doesn't. He doesn't
trade. It's like any board game with the guy. He doesn't trade. He doesn't like Monopoly. He will not give you fucking property, but he will offer you $5 for Boardwalk. Like, get fucked.
Yeah, I know. Ben is very much an authoritarian.
Yeah. So, to reference this, is like the world is pretty much playing Risk. Who can I give stuff to get stuff back from? Now, if I give this guy money, is he going to protect my ass later on?
Oh.
But giving, and this is where, I don't know if you remember the old sad Christmas music. It comes out around Christmas time on cable. I don't pay for cable, so I haven't really seen the commercial in years.
Okay.
Where it's like some church thing where they play the really sappy Christmas music, and they show all the kids and like, oh, if you donate now today, like,
yeah, those things.
I don't give to that because back in the early 90s and late 90s, we offered them birth control, we offered condoms, every fucking thing we could, and they went, no, we don't want it.
There's a lot of problems with that. Is that like specifically like with those sort of things? Is that you can't just bring these new things like that into an area and not properly teach them how. Like the problem is like there was a big problem when they introduced powdered breast milk, baby formula.
Yeah.
In a lot of these countries, the problem is that they didn't teach them like, hey, you have to mix like so much per with whatever water, and that's what you give.
Well,
but they're doing.
A lot of them don't have clean drinking water either,
and that's another problem. But the thing what they're doing is that they were mixing. They were trying to spread the powder out, so they would mix less and less powder with however much water and give it to the baby.
Yeah.
Kids were growing up malnourished.
Yeah.
Because they weren't getting enough of vitamins and shit and whatever they needed in the formula. So like, but my point, the point I'm trying to make is that you just can't throw money and resources at the problem. You have to put, you have to education and build these places and these communities up. You can't just.
That's like me throwing a fucking big block Chevy 355 at you and said, "Here, we build this."
Right.
You would have no fucking idea what to do.
Yeah, no, I'm not a mechanic.
Not calling you dumb and not calling you stupid.
No.
But like, it's not something you're trained in. You don't have the resources. You don't have the tools. You don't have the proper know-how.
Right, that's it.
And that's where it fell. But like, when you play the sappy music to try to get me to bite, I'm like, I don't feel it.
Yeah, and that thing in particular, all those charities, unless you research them and know all their ins and outs, you don't really know where the money's going.
Well, no, and that's another thing, right? Like, a lot of them are like, oh, pay $5 here. And it's like, okay, is the $5 going to them, or is it really going to your CEO to buy another fucking vacation house for his other mistress?
Right, yeah. So,
like, that's where a lot of people understand. You're going to donate $10 to this charity. Where is that $10 actually going?
And that's it, yeah. So,
like, here's a good example. Bandit Paws here in Grand Prairie, Alberta. They got broken into last weekend.
Okay.
$800 worth of cash was stolen out of their 2 safe boxes.
Yeah.
The community put together almost $10,000.
Yeah.
So they went from missing $800 and like $2,500 damages to getting $10,000.
Jeez, yeah.
But that goes all strictly right to the animals. Like, no CEO is going to buy another vacation house.
Right.
Like, what it's going to do is pay for a dog that comes in with a broken leg and that needs $4,000 worth of surgery. That's going to pay for it.
Right.
So that's the problem with some of these big charities. They're like, oh, yeah, pay $10 into here, and it's going to go towards the kids. No, 50 cents of that $10 is going to go towards the kids, and the other $8.50 is going to go towards you and the new vacation home.
Geez, yeah.
But it's like Wynn and making the CEO of Hydro One a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing. And that's what tricked me out here in Alberta was when I first moved out, we don't have the morning, evening, nights on the power list. It is all one go.
Yeah.
It's the same rate at 7 a.m. as it is at 3 p.m. and as at midnight.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hydro One was a complete mess up by both the Liberals and the Conservatives. It was just...
Well, and like what me and my dad talked about. So back when this first happened, I might have been a little ahead of my time, but like I told my dad, so you're telling me that you're going to change all the power ratings. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., you're going to pay a premium. And from 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. or 7 p.m., you're going to pay a different rate. And then from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., you're going to pay a totally different rate. That's going to be like half the price of the premium.
Right.
Is not everybody just going to work their power at from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.? So would that not be the premium time to fucking pay?
Well, no. See, the reason why they do that is so that the premium time is when they've done the math that most people use just because it's people go through their usual routines. And that
is when most businesses are open.
Yeah. And then that's why when it drops, that's when the least amount of people are doing it. Now, people who are trying to be cost effective and manage their money, well, of course, that's when they're going to, all the broke students, that's when they're going to do all their laundry and shit. It's 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And,
But eventually it would essentially match the premium of 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I don't know.
Now, you would have to, don't get me wrong, you would have to do the study, but I guarantee the study would be damn near close.
Yeah, probably.
The only difference is that instead of having the steel plant and the tube mill and the Sioux running up, let's say during the day they have 200 employees.
Yeah.
On night shift, they're not going to have 200 employees. They're going to have 110.
Right.
So they're not going to be running as fast and as much.
No.
So that would where you'd have to take out the steel mill and the tube mill. You'd have to actually calculate on consumer basis of a regular residential person. You can't add a tube mill or a steel mill because during the day they might push, or let's bring an OSB plant because I know how to talk OSB. My dad pushes out, let's say 1.2 million linear board feet from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. From 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., he only pushes out 750,000 linear board feet. That's a big difference. That's a lot less power.
Yeah.
That's the difference of running 3 dryers to running 2 dryers and only running the second dryer half the night.
Yeah.
You can't add that into your normal resident. That's like me running my dryer on energy efficient mode and you fucking going, know what, it has 70 minutes, let's just put it on 70 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's meant to even out so that everybody's electricity bill would be moderate.
Yeah.
But it's not. But then you got out here where Jason Kenney, I hate him. I'm a conservative guy. I'm almost a conservative. I will admit, when I voted, I voted for libertarian.
Oh, really?
A little bit of middle, right? A little bit of conservative. Well, because out here they still had the conservative part of the guns and everything.
Yeah.
But they had liberal kind of thinking, the LGBTQ has their rights, which I agree with. They do have their rights.
Yeah.
But I can still keep my fucking gun. Okay, you're not going to touch my 30-06 and my 410? Fuck, fine. Just let me have it. Fuck, where the hell was I going with this?
You didn't like Kenny.
No, but he took all. Okay, yeah. So he took all the fucking caps off insurance and electricity companies.
Okay.
So my insurance. So we have insurance underneath Brianna's name because I wasn't making enough money at one point where I could pay for insurance. So my insurance premium now is through the roof.
Okay.
Where Brianna's insurance is with me and her underneath it with a 2019 Jeep Wrangler and a 95 F-150 is $243 a month.
Okay.
If I put that in my name, it's $400 and some odd dollars.
Gee.
And that's Brianna chimes in. She doesn't have her whole license either.
Okay. Jeez.
Now with electricity and power, there's a page called the Real Grand Prairie page. And someone was like, I thought I was doing really good with gas and electricity. Yeah. Little did they know electricity was $8 a month. They were paying $170 into fucking delivery charges.
Oh.
He took the cap off of the delivery fees. So ATCO and the Direct Energy and all those guys, instead of charging you can only charge $75 for delivery fees.
Yeah.
Instead of charging $75, they can charge whatever the fuck they want.
That's
So if you shut all power, like you shut your main power grid off,
yeah.
I said, fuck it. It's summertime. I don't need power. Like I don't watch TV. I don't need to cool my house down. I don't need to heat my house up. I'm going camping for the summer.
Yeah.
Like a lot of oil field boys do.
Yeah.
You're paying like $140+ a month into delivery charges. You can have a $0 fucking usage, but you're gonna pay like a $200 bill for just delivery.
That's just.
And it's the same as cities right now doing their property taxes.
Yeah.
So I work with a guy. He lives on the south side of Edmonton. His house lost $30,000 worth of value because of COVID. His property tax went up 45%.
How? How does that equate?
Don't go ask the city of Edmonton.
Jeez.
How does your house lose $30,000 worth of value, but your property tax was up 45%? Like he said,
God.
he's even said to me, he was, when I sell that fucking house, I will never buy another house in my life. And he's like 35 years old.
Yeah.
It is pretty sad when renting is looking better than owning.
Really? That's a problem.
It is now smarter. So for me and you to buy a house would be stupid. For me and you to build a house would be smart, but just as stupid. Because when you build a house now, you have to put on new house insurance. Yeah. Which is pretty much the same as just regular house insurance. But it's you're paying for two insurances at once. Yeah. One is one full payment of like $15,000, and the other one is monthly payments, almost like a mortgage. It is essentially for if you were out in a shitty electrician and he burnt your house down, you're covered. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. No. Where you can just wire your whole house up by code by yourself. Right. Bring in a city inspector. And you went, yep, that's good. You don't need a Red Seal electrician. No. So.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, I mean, that's kind of the problem with society in general. The way things are going is that like everything is so much more. It's renting and streaming. No one owns anything anymore. No one.
Well, do you pay for cable?
No.
Your parents still pay for cable?
Yes, but they just got decent enough internet where they can do like Netflix and that. That's.
I was there. I remember your internet being horrible. I remember you having like the shittiest like Shaw 10, which was almost dial-up.
It wasn't Shaw, but yeah, there's just it was slow and there was a cap forever, and there was different.
You had dial-up to like 2014, okay?
No. I remember having dial-up as a kid, but I don't think it was up until 2014.
No, but like
yeah. It wasn't, especially when you compare it to the Sioux. Oh, geez. Oh,
1 second. Oh, there we go.
No, especially when you compare it to the Sioux. Yeah, there's no contest. We had exponentially bad, worse internet.
Well, that's the thing. Like the internet on Colburn was better than the internet that you had at your house.
No, I wouldn't say quite that. It wasn't that bad. Jeez. But yeah, no. So just recently, as the COVID, or just after the COVID hit, they were able to get decent enough internet where now they can, not only is it fast enough, but there's no cap, and they can actually get Netflix and stream and all that sort of stuff.
Well, and that's the problem, is that your internet was horrible. Where if you drove what was layered to the Sioux, 25 minutes,
half an hour.
Half an hour. You could go from horrible internet to one of the best internet.
Yeah. But I mean, that all has to do with, just we lived in an unpopulated area, and the Sioux was the city. But the other shitty thing too is that there was a high-speed internet cable that went right through our small town over to St. Joe Island.
Now, was it high speed or fiber optic? There's two differences. Because if it was fiber optic, I would see why they would not cut it over to you.
Why not?
Because you know what fiber optic is, right?
Vaguely, it's a cable.
Fiber optic is pretty much a bunch of like super skinny glass lines.
Okay.
that transfers Wi-Fi through it. To dumb it down, it pretty much transfers Wi-Fi through it. To splice a fiber optic cable, you can go from a 1/4 inch thick cable to a 3 foot in diameter inch cable.
Okay.
When they cut it, they have to make sure each line that gets reconnected is the exact same line.
Okay.
And it's not like, so if I cut a piece of metal in half, I just weld it back together, right?
Yeah.
Picture that with every piece of fucking glass that you gotta melt.
Yeah.
You bring a 1/4 inch to 3 foot in diameter.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, I guess we had to do it at the one job site out in warehouse or here. And that's how the boss found out. Is like,
yeah.
And if you cut fiberglass by accident, or a fiber optic line by accident, it's $10,000.
Oof. Yeah.
On both sides.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So $10,000 on the left side and $10,000 on the right side just to reconnect it.
Jeez, that's
it's not a cheap thing to disconnect and reconnect. That's why when they put it in, 9 times out of 10, so like in the Sioux, we didn't have fiber op, but if I went to the other side of second line, they all had fiber op.
Okay.
All the way down North Street on the second side of the hill, they all had fiber op.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's just, so like the house we're in now, we have fiber op.
Yeah.
If I was to, like, let's say if I dug in a trench in the front yard and I cut that line, I'd be uphold for $20,000.
Yeah, no, that's.
And it's not like, oh, I'll make payments. No. They're like, yeah, you either make the $20,000 or send you to jail. And then we'll put your family on hold for that $20,000.
Yeah.
I think it's not a cheap thing to accidentally cut.
Not at all.
But that's the same thing as when they say call before you dig. It's all free. That's in your property taxes.
Yeah.
So, where the fuck were we now?
Fuck if I know.
Fucking spread right off the fucking left field there, and
yeah.
No, we were somewhere with Jason Kent. Oh yeah, with the
cat. You don't the cat. The insurance cats.
Like, don't get me wrong, the NDP wasn't great here either.
Okay.
But Jason Kenney is not making many friends either with cutting budgets and that, because what's the first thing to get cut?
Well,
schools. And like programs. Don't get me wrong, me and my 4 brothers were not the nicest people to deal with when we were at school.
No. But the problem is, still need to pay. Like me and Darren talked about this. Is you still need to put money into these things. Like,
well, that's the thing. You got to put money into it, and like, but then you get teachers like, Shell's one French teacher. He called her the C word, and when she called my parents, and my mom and dad were like, well, "What do you want us to do?" And she's like, "Well, he needs to learn respect." And my mom was like, Did you show him respect? Like, respect is earned. It's not just because you have a title of, oh, I'm a teacher, I get respect. No.
Right.
Like, my kids would be taught the same way.
Yeah.
Like, there's a point to respect. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you respect your teacher. She's an elder. You show her respect. But this same French teacher was the one that would be like, you didn't do your homework, you owe me detention for the next for after school.
Mm.
And Sheldon has a learning disability. I don't care if you edit this out or not. Everybody knows this. Sheldon has a hard time reading and writing, but his comprehension level is through the roof.
Yeah.
He can't read you the book, but if you read in the book, he can tell you exactly what that book meant.
Okay. Yeah.
It's almost to a Harvard level. Like, he is good at comprehending what is being read to him.
Yeah.
Sheldon now, though, when he was in high school, had the thing of you had to add his homework. He was not allowed homework. He had he had a reading block.
Yeah.
You had to add his stuff into this program called Dragon, where it would read everything to him, and he can go in. The teacher wasn't doing that. Teacher would send Sheldon home for like 2 hours worth of homework. I got the same fucking teacher. I slept through his class as a giant fuck you to him, right?
Yeah.
Well, my mom on the phone told the teacher, why don't, she's like, have you read his portfolio? And he goes, why would I do that? He's a student. He should just have to do the homework.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, well, if you read this, you know the teacher. I'll tell you the teacher's name later.
Okay.
This was at Superior Heights. You had him, I believe.
Okay.
My mom told him, like, well, if you read his portfolio, you'd understand that he's not allowed homework. We don't have the program and the necessities to do this at home. The teacher's like, well, that's not my job. And my mom's like, do your fucking job and add it to the fucking program like you're fucking supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, don't me and Brad get the same teacher every year after.
Of course.
So Sheldon got him first. Brad got him first, and then Sheldon got him, and then I got him. And the year I got him was the year of the 2010 Olympics.
Oh, yeah?
Or no, what year was the Winter Olympics? 2012, right? Or the Summer Olympics?
Wait, yeah, there's London in 2012.
It would have been London. Yeah, it would have been the Summer Olympics, I believe. Yeah, because it would have been 2012.
Yeah.
I got him in 2012, and that was probably the funniest class I've ever had. 'Cause after Olympics stopped, I just started sleeping.
Yeah.
It's the same teacher that I told that if we were going to watch a movie, I'd just go home and fucking watch it and drink beer. Because it was my final year. Oh, no.
No, that wouldn't have been.
What the fuck did we have? I was 18 at the time. What the hell?
Okay, so then that would have been 2014.
Yeah, the
winter
of 2014.
The Winter Olympics in Sochi.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Because we were watching the Winter Olympics, and I just finally told him, like, kiss my ass, I'm going home to drink this fucking. I'm going to watch this movie and drink beer at home. Like, I'm not watching it in class.
I don't know. I remember one of the good things about Superior Heights is that they just had that shit playing all the time. Like,
yeah, well, you remember the jumbotrons that we had. On
yeah. They had these giant TVs and like the open foyer concept of the school, and yeah, this is nice. You could just go out whenever and see whatever was on. And one of the great things is that because it was the Sioux, is we had the local hometown heroes of
Dean Jacobs.
Yeah.
Was that the year that? Yeah, that was the year that we won.
Yeah, that was the year that they won. They won gold.
Yeah, we called it the double year because we won women's and men's and hockey and curling.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we called that the double year because I remember all the memes. I was like, in Canada, we call that a double.
Yeah.
But that was the year that we won gold, men's and women's hockey and curling.
Yeah.
No, and then okay, but to rewind right back to where we talked about earlier about that. Ford, the aluminum, military grade aluminum.
Sure. Yeah.
We both know I'm a big Ford guy through and through. Like I go from a 2016 to a 95.
Yeah.
I went from a nice truck to my dream truck. Don't get me wrong. The aluminum strength, a lot of people don't understand that. Aluminum strength, yes, it's not as strong as a good old, like what Chevy and Dodge are pulling out still. Like, you can still fucking smack a Dodge or anything. But it's the safety rating.
Right.
If I hit you, if I T-bone you and you're in a brand new Chevy, there's a good chance you're breaking your leg. Now, if I T-bone you and you're in a brand new Ford, you might walk away with minor scratches and bruises.
Right.
What people don't understand is that aluminum crumples, steel doesn't.
Right.
And with lighter weight means more towing.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller engine. Well, like my dad's got a new 2018 Gen 2 Ford EcoBoost twin turbo.
Okay.
I was doing 160 down the highway, and I thought I was doing 75.
Dude.
Like it's so quiet, it's so smooth that like even Brianna was wondering how fast I was going.
Yeah.
She's the one that told me I had to slow down for fuck's sakes. I was still going.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was doing I'm only doing 70 and an 80. You know, I'm doing 160 and I'm still pushing fucking throttle down. And with the Gen 2s, the turbos don't last 100,000 kilometers. They last actually a good lifetime.
Okay.
So, like, I understand the military grade aluminum. Yeah, it's a little weaker. Like, I'm not going to be able to fucking hit you as hard as I used to. Like, you remember remember my old 97 when I got into that accident? I fucking made a golf ball size dent in my fucking truck. In the 2014 F-150, I broke his bumper, pushed it to his tires, almost broke his radiator.
Right.
I drove away from the accident like, oh, okay, like I hit a squirrel. This poor parked truck looked like he fucking hit a goddamn speed post at 110.
Right.
But that's the new plastic aluminum style bodies. Mm-hmm. You don't have the strength you used to. No, I'm not saying. If you hit me with a Gen 2 Cummins fucking Dodge, I'm going to pray to God that I'm not meeting him at the pearly gates.
Right.
Because those things were solid steel through and through. Fenders and fucking body.
Yeah.
You hit me with a 2018 F-150, I'm going to look at you and be like, okay, you owe me a double-double. Like, for the inconvenience you have caused, you owe me a car. Yeah. Like, a smart car would hit an F-150 and cause more damage than the F-150 hitting an old truck.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. In my eyes, higher the safety rating, better the vehicle. That's like the Ford Windstar Camp. Yeah. You know the safety rating on those things are like 1 star.
Yeah.
A squirrel would cut across you and hit you on the fender, and you'd fucking set off all airbags, and fucking front tire would fucking go on a 45-degree angle.
Jeez, yeah, well.
Oh, fuck, that reminds me. Remember when we did 85 down the fucking 12th in that thing? In Grandma's Yeah, that symbol means you're low on brake fluid. Oh, fuck. Good thing when brakes in until then.
Right.
There, me and you cruising in that front-wheel drive fucking minivan.
Yeah, jeez, yeah, that was...
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
No, people don't understand that. The higher the safety rating, that's like the Ford Pintos.
Oh, yeah, those things.
The recall on those used to be that, they never made a recall. No. If they got an fender bender, if you hit the back end hard enough, you can actually make the gas tank explode.
Right, yeah.
But Ford never recalled it because it was like a 1 in, $2 million, like 2 million chance.
Yeah.
But where like Toyota came out when their gas pedal was stick.
Yeah.
Like every other Toyota gas pedal stuck.
Right.
So you got to pick and choose your recalls and pick and choose your safety ratings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's it. And just do your research, basically. Is what you want, what you need.
Like, in my personal opinion, I'll never buy a Chevy or a GMC.
No.
One, because they needed funding from the government to last throughout the last recession. Mm-hmm. No one was buying their vehicles.
Right.
And 2, if you're anything other than 6'1" and under, that vehicle is not a comfy ride.
And yeah, that's the thing too. Is we're both quite tall. Vehicles got to be comfortable to sit in.
Well, like I remember my old boss, Mel. He is, 5'2". Yeah. On a good day. A good day.
Yeah.
Like gravity is fucking failing and he's floating.
Yeah.
Good guy. He bought a brand new GMC.
Okay.
I hopped in that thing and I drove for 10 yards. It was the roughest ride I've ever had.
Really?
10 yards. I drove for 10 yards and it fucking sucked.
Dude.
I drove in skid steers for 10 yards and bounced around and went, fuck, this is smoother than fucking a GMC. Not faulting anybody. Like, people will say GMC's like, Sheldon might like a GMC, but Sheldon sleeps on a mattress that is as hard as a rock without peat moss on it. But when I drive, I like a vehicle that has tons of storage, tons of comfort, tons of luxury. Like the new 2021 Ford F-150s Brandon showed me. Yeah. They're nice. They're state-of-the-art, fucking everything digital. Don't get me wrong. There is problems with digital, but there's also, like, I can't say much because on my 95 F-150, my speedometer will jump 20 clicks out of nowhere. I'll put the fucking pedal to the metal and I'm like, oh, I'm doing 60. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm doing 90. Perfect. Like, yeah, good thing I didn't get a fucking ticket there.
Yeah, it's a problem.
But with new vehicles become more technology. It's like when they made the 2016 Dodge Ram.
Yeah.
They came out with that 11.2-inch screen. The fuck I need a tablet for my car, for my truck. Oh, distracted driving charge? Perfect. No, officer, I wasn't using my phone. I was just checking the tablet on the front of the console.
I mean, the good thing now is with that is the backup cams. Those are all coming standard on.
No, though, I will say this because I have become horrible at backing up vehicles.
Yeah.
The backup camera has really picked the men from the boys.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
I have a hard time backing up a vehicle. Like, my 95 I can back up because it's low, it's small. Even with red cab long box, like, it's still only, like, I don't know, 19 feet. Like, it's only as long as, like, there's some cars longer than my fucking truck.
Yeah.
But you get into my 2016, if I didn't have a backup camera, I would never back that thing up.
Really?
It's, dude, mirror to mirror was the fucking yellow line to yellow line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at my 97 F-150. It was an 8-foot box with a red cab with storage in it.
Yeah.
Like, backing that thing up was a fucking hellhole. Like, it was 23 feet long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's longer than a minibus.
Right.
I would say short bus, but that'd offend you.
Oh. No.
Go ahead.
But just with like backing up in that is, it's so much. Like I'm fairly good, I'd say, at backing up and all that. Not great, but like if you're going to try and back onto a trailer, like the fucking backup cam is.
Oh, you can't argue with that. Like fucking, my 2016 had the attachment where if you had a V-neck trailer,
yeah.
So any bumper humper trailer, pretty much, if you put the sticker in the right within 7 to 11 inches of the camera, you didn't have to touch the steering wheel.
No.
You can use a dial, and if you wanted it to go left, you turn the dial left. If you wanted to go right, you turn the dial right, and your steering wheel would do the opposite.
Yeah.
Did I ever use it? No. I never held any trailers, but fucking technology now, and even with my backup camera and that thing, it had a middle line.
Yeah.
Like if you looked at me and said I can't back this thing up to that trailer, I seriously have to slap you with a board. It's like there's a middle fucking line to tell you you're dead center of the truck.
Right. Yeah.
You could physically come in on a 45 and set the trailer on the hitch.
Yeah.
And it's not like it didn't show the hitch. Like you could physically put the ball on top of the hitch and be like, okay, yeah, you're good.
Right.
So a lot of these people that can't back up, it's just like, okay, are you just stupid or are you just lazy?
Yeah.
And even when you get into the cars now, they have the backup assist.
Yeah.
Like parallel parking. No one knows how to parallel park anymore. They hit a button on their fucking car and it doesn't.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
Like, I wish I had that when I was fucking 16 years old.
Oh, yeah, that would have.
Oh, for the passenger test, you must parallel park. Here, let me press the button for you, sir.
Yeah, like that would fly.
Well, that's like Donald. When Donald wants to move out here, he wants an old shit box like I have.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. If you opened up a hood of a 2016 or a 2010 and up, could you tell me what was wrong with the engine? I look at it and be like, yeah, the wiring harness is probably fucked somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'll work on it, but I'm not going to fucking deal with a wiring harness that's all over the engine bay.
That's it.
Like, I open up my 95.
Yeah.
And I could physically drop a 12-valve Cummins in it and still have room for more.
Right.
Where if I opened up an engine and the hood of a 2016 F-150, I'd be like, I think I could fit a Twinkie over there.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, there's no room for working on stuff.
No. And that's it. It's like you can, like, you just can't work on it anymore. Like, no, even if you were a mechanic, you just can't do your own work on these new vehicles anymore. It's
no, because you need to have a computer system and you need to have an understanding of the wiring harness.
Right.
So, like, the girlfriend, like, I still hold this against me, but the girlfriend, we went out, got a 2015 Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
Unlimited Sport. Nice vehicle.
Such a white girl.
I sunk it 24 hours into owning it. We didn't own it for 24 hours. As in, I flooded it.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Like, I put it into a puddle that was.
Did you drive into some of your oil sands or what?
Pardon?
I said, did you drive into some of your oil sands or what?
No, we went down this the Canfor Road, and off to the left you could take it. We went all the way to the bridge where the train track goes over.
Okay.
On the way back, we're like, oh, we'll go through the puddle. That wasn't very deep that summer, but it must just rained or something, because when we hit the puddle, I flooded the Jeep and I fucked the engine. And not good, like I fucked the engine bad.
Right, yeah.
But like when I lifted the hood, like it was all wires. The fuck do I do with this?
Yeah.
So we traded it. Like we were able to trade it in for a 2019 Jeep Wrangler. You think I go near a puddle? It rains out on my own drive.
No.
Like, fuck that, it's raining. Like, fucking go put a tarp over that. Don't let any water touch it. Like, fucking boat down near, build a shelter over the back fucking driveway. Like, no water touches this fucking thing. Like, her new 2019, I cannot tell you what was wrong with it. Like,
oh, no.
For some reason, the transmission jumps up into higher RPMs. Out of nowhere. Like, out of nowhere. We'll be turning a corner, and it's like, hey, I want to go up to 2,500 RPMs. I'm like, no, how about you stick down to fucking 1,000 where you're supposed to be? Brought it to the dealership. Of course, right? You bring a vehicle to the dealership, and it's like you bring a child to the doctors. I don't know what's wrong. I feel perfectly fine now.
Yeah.
Fucking nothing. Driving the other day, same thing. I'm like, for fuck's sakes. Like, just fucking act up at the dealership so I can fucking get you fixed.
Right, yeah.
Like, I'm to the point where I'm just going to drop it off and be like, replace the fucking tranny.
Well, I don't know.
Get rid of the transmission, put a new one in.
Yeah.
But, like...
That's because it happens so infrequently. Like...
Well, it's not that it happens infrequently. Like, I could drive the thing for 7 days in a row, and it'll do everything. It'll do it every 7 days, every day for the 7 days.
Right.
But if I drop it off at the dealership, it won't do it once.
Of course, yeah.
But it's like the same thing when I worked at Prouse in the Sioux.
Yeah.
When we called there. We had a Jeep. We had a vehicle come in, the automatic fucking tailgate or whatever for the one of the SUVs. Would automatically just pop out of nowhere, vehicle locked or not.
Okay.
We sat there and watched it for an hour. Nothing happened. Went for break, came back, and the fucking thing was open.
Gee.
And we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like watching your local politicians. You can do something? You can do something? No? Okay, everybody turn around. And fuck, as soon as you turn around, he's like, hey, I passed all these laws that aren't good for you. You fucker. Holy fuck. I didn't realize I was that tired. Or sore.
Yeah.
Fucking. You've been sitting around on that chair. I've been walking around the house.
Yeah, I know. It's just because I have the microphone set up here and all that. So.
See, I don't have a laptop, but I don't think my phone microphone is any better, but it's probably better than the laptop.
Yeah. Well, no, for the whole podcast thing, I went all out and I got a decent setup. So.
Well, that's good. That's what you need, though. And like I was telling you, like the only thing I found the problem with the first one was volume.
Yeah. There is an issue I didn't realize. Hopefully that's fixed now. Yeah, no, there was setting or something on because I was using the two mics. I have this thing called it's like a switch sort of thing, and I just the one setting on it, I had it set right, and then I don't know, when I went to go record with Darren, it somehow got off, and then also when I still hadn't figured it out by the time I went to record with Rory. Now it should be good.
Yeah, because like I was in the skid steer the other day trying to listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
And that was one problem. I can't hear it over the engine.
Okay.
where I can listen to my music, no problem.
Yeah.
But then again, some of my songs come on, and I'm like, okay, that's too loud. And then some songs come on, okay, that's too quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking realize when you're like, oh, you want to be part of the podcast? I was like, sure. And then I was like, wait, has he added any? I was like, I haven't been able to watch in a while.
Yeah. No. So I have.
Sit down and actually listen.
Yeah. The only one I did since Rory was with my new roommate Jared. So.
Well, Golder's down there, eh?
Oh, is he? I know he.
I don't think he's not in Ottawa, but I'm trying to remember where he is. He's near Owen Sound, I think, or Barrie.
Which
isn't like, okay, I'm sorry to say, but like anything past North Bay is pretty much all the same to me.
Everything south of French River is Toronto.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You're in GTA area, so I'm in all of Southern Ontario. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Ottawa's not part of GTA. I'm like, I don't give a
fuck.
fuck.
No, there is the Ottawa exception, but still.
I don't give a fuck. Anything past, like on Google Maps, there's seriously a dot, or used to be a dotted line on Google Maps that would separate fucking Northern Ontario from Southern Ontario.
Yeah.
And it was actually dotted, like it was curved and everything. I was like, yeah, see that dotted line? Yeah, that's Southern Ontario on the other side of that. I was like, you can tell me you're from fucking Mississauga. You're from Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is. Like,
yeah.
We got Donald coming out, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And it's not like we're far from, like, Edmonton's, like, 4.5 hours.
Right.
It bring it seats, I can do it in 3, but.
Yeah.
She's got to sleep.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm too bad of a driver for her to put her to sleep, so.
Too many sharp turns,
Not sharp turns. I just do 165 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
I will give it that. Like we went down a couple weeks, or about, what was it, end of July or beginning of July? I went down with TJ. I went down with my coworker TJ. Bought a Cadillac S, 4-cylinder or whatever, AST4 or whatever it is. His average speed on the car was like 48 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
It was Grandma Duran. But when we left Grand Prairie, we got to Valley View, or almost to Edmonton. And he goes, you guys burnt like 300 kilometers worth of fuel. It's 487 kilometers.
Yeah.
We went up in the first hour of driving, we gained like 100 kilometers of fuel. What the fuck?
Jeez.
I was like, yeah, the newer Jeeps actually, like they're not bad.
No.
Like, you keep the roof on and everything, and I can go from here to Kamloops on a tank of gas.
Okay.
Well, it was like the old Ford. The old Ford, I could go from here to Yellowknife on a tank of gas.
Okay.
Like, if I had somebody driving with me when I went to Ontario with the old Ford,
yeah,
I could do it in a day and a half, no problem. Fill up twice, and I'd be there.
Yeah. Okay.
We're talking 136 liters. If you follow the speed limit exactly, you're getting about, I don't know, 1,400 kilometers in a tank of gas.
Okay.
Like, for me to land in the Sioux, it would be like I'm rolling in off of, like, I'd be rolling to Ben's driveway being like, can I have 5 gallons worth of gas? The fucker would probably make me pay for it, too.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, gas is $1.29 a liter, so you're gonna pay $1.49.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh. He'd bleed you. He'd bleed. Get every penny out of you he could.
Oh, he fucking would too. Well, he's only working like 8 months of the year, eh?
Right. I forget what his mom was saying about the new job he got.
He's working for Pioneer or something as a surveyor or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But that's pretty much, like, unless you get in with a big company like Graham or Clark Builders or, like, I can't remember the company that built the Sioux Area Hospital. Like, you get a big company like those as a civil engineer, or like Zach, you get a company like Zach is, you work only 8 months out of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
You work from snow melt to snowfall. That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
And they don't give a fuck what your title is. You're a civil engineer or you're a fucking surveyor. Congratulations. This is what we need.
Right.
So, like, Yeah, it's a good thing he went into what he did, but at the same time, it's like, is it worth it?
Oh, that's it.
Because, like, I know people that went into surveying that makes just as much as Ben and they spend half the time in school.
Yeah.
Like, is it really worth it? Fucking going into all that? Not really, in my opinion.
Yeah, it all depends on like what you're doing. It's a shit thing. Like, 'cause the thing is like there might be a field you might really want to go into, but you take these 4-year schooling and then you get out and there's no more jobs there.
Well, and the thing is like, I would never went to Sioux. 1 second.
Yeah.
I would never went to fucking Sioux College if I wouldn't have known. I could have just went right into mill writing, right out of high school.
Yeah.
But my dad convinced me that, oh no, you need this to get into a job in a suit.
Yeah.
Where everybody I've ever known that's done carpentry or electrician or electrical or carpentry or mill writing, seriously graduated high school and went right into apprenticeship.
Okay.
And then like the company they work for paid for the 4 years of school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
it was a little different. Like the SR Steel, or what is that? Algoma Steel now.
Yeah. Algoma Steel
now. Back.
Yeah.
They're different. They want you to have that 2 years for Sioux College schooling.
Right.
Well, seriously, like bullshit, because you can go take it out of millwright school and come out smarter.
Yeah, but like, the thing is like I think in your case in particular, I think you were lucky that you got into a company that was willing to pay for all that.
Well, don't get me wrong, my dad definitely helped me get into where I was going.
Yeah.
But in college, like they had expectations out of me that they weren't going to get. Like my dad was this work 60 hours a week, fucking pull a 4.0 GPA, make the dean's list and everything. And I was like, you don't expect that from me. I'm not that guy. I'm not a book learner. I'm not a reading learner. I'm a hands-on learner.
Yeah.
And that's where I dropped out of college, was that all the courses I had to take were reading.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand sitting in front of a class and reading for fucking 3 hours.
Right.
If I want to listen to you teach me in a monotone voice for 3 fucking hours, I might as well go grab the audio booklet of this fucking course and have fun.
Right.
That's where my dad would excel, because he'd just go home, spend his time on his fucking laptop after working 10 or 12 hours, and then get a 4.0. Mm-hmm. Where I come out here, I've operated almost every piece of equipment GMS runs, and then some, and no more than most of the guys. Mm. Like some of the guys I work with, so the one guy, I won't name names, he's afraid of heights.
Yeah.
So last October, I got pulled off for the hospital site. I was helping the old supervisor, right? Because he needed an operator, because he fired the one guy that was there before me.
Yeah.
I was helping him run equipment, fix equipment, do everything. They pulled me off the site because I was one of the only guys that knew how to run a fucking AWP. Everybody that doesn't know what an AWP is, it's aerial work platform. I can run anything from a 10-foot to 135 feet. That's not small. Like, you go 135 feet in here, right?
Right, yeah.
Like that's a big distance.
Yeah.
They had me go from that site to a site where I needed to run a 65-footer. Mm-hmm. So then I do that for a little bit, and then I think it was February. We had a little bit of a weird winter out here. Like, it wasn't a lot of snowfall, but it was kind of cold, but kind of wasn't.
Okay.
Pulled me off site again, say, hey, you got to go to the other site, run this AWP. Well, I only get 25 feet, 30 feet in the air. And they're like, and I go to move because I'm like, fuck, I'm 3 feet short. Like, I need to move over so I can boom out a little bit more to get this proper setting. The guy with me all of a sudden goes white-knuckled.
Yeah.
He grabs the fucking handrail for the life of him. He's like, I am going to die. This is the same guy that looks me in the face the other day before that and goes, I'm not afraid of anything. Yeah. Getting 25 feet in the air, and he's fucking praying to God that he's not going to die that day.
Yeah.
And then like, so we get him up there and everything, and it's like, you can't drive with me up here. Like, you got to bring us down. So I bring us down, drive over the 3 feet. Like, it physically took me 2 seconds to hit the button, and I moved 3 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, look, hey, we can go back up. I'm like, for fuck's sakes. Well, we pissed him off a week later, and he's like, I'm not afraid of heights anymore. I looked at the supervisor of site, and I was like, go order me a 125 right now. He's like, what for? I'm like, I'm going to show this man what fear of heights actually is.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't know what fear is until you're fucking 80 feet up in the air and 40 feet away from the fucking wheels. Yeah. Where, like, so it's different companies, right? You know, you've ever seen a Zoom boom in site around town. You know Zoom boom, right?
Yeah.
So you have the Genie, and you have JLG, you have what's the other brand? There's a couple of Skyjack. There's a couple of brands. Yeah. Well, Genie, you can offer like 3 or 4 fucking different hydraulic modules up there. They can get boom out, boom up, boom down all at the same time.
Yeah.
GLG can't. And a GLG on a 125, if you boom down at the same time you're booming in, whatever one you hit first activates.
Okay.
So I was at one point 85 feet up in the air with another, like, this sounds different. This is when I worked from Alberta. We were 85 feet up, 40 feet from the fucking wheels. Yeah. And I accidentally hit the boom down button for like 3 seconds. That's all it took. And those 3 seconds, I used the hydraulic fluid to drop 4 fucking feet.
Yeah.
At 80 feet up in the air, 4 feet is a long
And that's
distance.
it. You just, it's that feeling of going down when you're at that.
You ever burp and taste this shit? Because that's what it felt like. I burped and I was like, oh, I know what I had for dinner the other night. I was like, like, your stomach hits your throat and you're like, yeah, no, I'm good.
No.
We got, after that, we got up there and we tie off to the roof.
Yeah.
We would wait for Zoom, like a fucking forklift would come zooming by us, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for him to hit the tire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just waiting for this whole fucking thing to go out from underneath me, and I'm going to be strangling here by fucking 10 feet and fucking string. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes. And there would be Brianna on the floor, like, do a flip. you ever see Futurama? Do a flip.
Yeah, no, I love Futurama. Do a flip.
Like, fuck. Tell me you fucking catch me, please.
Yeah. Jeez.
Well, that was like, so an OSB mill, so what happens is they load lumber through a strainer. A strainer chips it into really small chunks. Remember my pellet stove?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
It goes through there. Then it goes through this ductwork into a dryer. Dryer's really hot. Dries it all out. Then it would send it up to a silicone. And yes, we can send it up to a cyclone. A cyclone pretty much is an air force weight reducer. So it would send it in. It would circle around the top. If it's too heavy or too small, it falls through the mill.
Okay.
Anything that's just between X amount of weight and X amount of weight would fly through into the next duct. Now to get up to the top of cyclones, it's 221 steps.
Okay.
Or 202 steps.
Yeah.
On a crystal clear day, you can see Grand Prairie from there.
Oh, jeez.
135-foot AWP going straight up just made it.
Right.
Could you imagine 135 feet up in a machine that only allows 10 kilometers an hour worth of wind?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not going to try that anytime soon.
Like, there's a lot of, like, Ben's not afraid of anything, but I would love to shovel him up in one. And be like, okay, we're going up.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got to explain it to you guys. I'm not afraid of heights.
Yeah. But
I'm afraid of heights when I can't tie off to anything that's going to fall.
Right, that's it. It's not a fear of heights really at that point. Like it's
a fear of falling.
Right, yeah, well, yeah. But I anyone who's not at least a little bit shaky in that situation is there's something not right there.
No, fucking workout here is totally different from working in Ontario.
Oh yeah.
Like health and safety out here is so much far more advanced in some aspects than others.
Yeah.
Like AWP course or fall rest course out here is like a half day. In Ontario is like 2 courses of 8 hours.
Okay.
Same for your AWP, but they cover the same thing. All right, buddy. How about I'll call you tomorrow and we'll continue this chat.
Oh, geez. I mean, we can if you want to, but
my phone's like 8%. It's gonna die.
no, I was just gonna say like this is more than like what we started at. It was 5.
It's like 6:37 on my time. It's 27.
Yeah, there's like what? There's over 3 hours, closer to 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, like we really more caught up on stuff than we really talked about stuff
that too.
Like the podcast, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like you have to edit out. You're probably gonna edit out. But
oh yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this a lot, but yeah, no, that's still.
But like, I can always call you tomorrow, Union or something. When I gotta go to the driving range tomorrow anyway.
Okay.
I'm in a golf tournament for work, so I haven't played golf in fucking a year, almost 2 years now.
Oh really?
And I made this promise that I'm a really good golfer. So like,
I thought that was your favorite pastime out there was golf and strippers.
No, golf. Golf was my pastime out here. Strippers was not. Strippers was the boss's favorite pastime.
Yeah.
No, but I haven't played in so long because like it's $100 and some odd a game.
Oh yeah.
And if I bring Brianna, let me say it's like $70 for me, and if I bring Brianna, she doesn't play usually, but it's still another $70 for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's $140 in just golf.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Just like $140 gets a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like that's food for a week and a half.
Yeah.
So do I just sacrifice my golf game or do I put food in my mouth? I'll pick food.
Right. Yeah.
So, make some topics for tomorrow or something we could talk about. We didn't really talk about like we touched upon the Trans Mountain Pipeline out there.
Oh yeah, jeez. Yeah, we can figure it out.
No, give me a show tomorrow whenever you want.
Yeah, sure.
I'll let you know when I'm at the driving range or whatever, and then we go from there, buddy.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see you later. All right.